There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Demon living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my short today. Feels like I fell 1,000 times. Nothing but doubt to flood my mind. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to remember why I ever started racing with my dreams. A restless December, feeling I was meant for more than I believed. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I swear I meant to do this. I'm told that love would never lie. Where my head has met my heart and they are beautifully aligned. But sometimes it's hard to remember everything I've done that's brought me to this space. I started with embers, now a raging fire is burning in its place. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping.
How's it going, folks? Baron PC here. Hopefully ready for my stream. Things are not going as planned over the course of today. Hence the name of the stream and the idea behind it. If you're having any trouble hearing me, please feel free to let me know. I do have Orcs Must Die queued up just in case, but yeah, just a great day filled with a bunch of interesting stuff. So thank you for coming by and hanging out. Yeah, kind of today I'm working on my thought process on what I can do for YouTube videos, and I got a phone call earlier this morning. Well, not a phone call, a text message and whatnot while I was driving on my way to work. And it brought up a bunch of old thoughts and, well, not even old thoughts. Yeah, it's been about a year since my grandfather passed, and there's a lot of stuff to unpack in regards to that. He wasn't my blood grandfather, but he's been around since I've been born, and there's been a lot of back and forth with our relationship, and it really got me thinking on the whole found family kind of thought process. And everybody likes to talk that it's such a great thing, it's always so great. It is, to a point, but there are times where it comes back and bites you in the ass. And it's one of those things, you know, I kind of want to go over this thought process where, you know, sometimes it is okay to lie to yourself on purpose. Sometimes you need to lie to yourself to be strong. Whenever it's a moment, whenever you really should break down. But sometimes you need to push through it. And sometimes lying to yourself whenever it comes to that point isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you need to be the strong person, either in a relationship or for your kids or for some other reason. You need to show that kind of strength, and you can break down later. I'm not saying that, you know, we have to have this whole toxic masculinity thing where, you know, boys aren't allowed to cry or stuff like that. No, I mean, we have to have our times. We have to have our moments where we break down and you know, just try to get that anger and angst and sadness out. But telling people that it's okay straight up, yeah, I know you can't do that easily. But telling people straight up, just blanket, it's okay to have that weakness, I think is a fallacy. In certain aspects, you know, it is okay. But whenever the proverbial shit is hitting the fan, sometimes you need to push past that. There are different applications that you can use all this stuff to. In LARP, sometimes you lie to yourself to change your outlook, change your perspective, and use that change in thought to change your thought process in reality. You can do that with tabletop gaming too, and things like that. There's a lot of things like that that I think, you know, we kind of take for granted, and sometimes isn't that bad, but you have to be very, very careful, because there's also that flip side of there are some people that lie to themselves and think that it's okay to do questionable acts whenever they are, you know, LARPing or tabletop gaming, because they think it's okay because that's what their character would do, but it is really wrong in real life. Some people cannot separate in-game and out of game and things like that. So yeah, I just there's a lot going on in my brain meats. Today's just been a rough, weird day. for sure. Projectile vomit from Baby Bear has not caused any fun. We're going to have a discussion with certain family members about feeding him big people food a little bit too early. So that's great. Little bits and pieces here and there are fine, but they've jumped to it way too much. Thank you for the hugs. I appreciate it. Yeah, whenever it comes to the grandparent stuff, it's just rough because my grandfather was always there. My blood grandfather on that side, way before I was born, back whenever my mom and her brother were kids, decided he was going to go after a way younger woman, and so I never met him, and I have zero interest in meeting him, and some of my family members have, but totally fine. That's up to them. I have zero interest. I don't have any hatred for the man. I try very hard not to hate anybody. But I definitely don't want there to be any interaction. I don't want to have any reason to actually hate him. But yeah, like I said, my grandfather was around since I was born, and taught me a lot of these things that, about being strong. The thought process that man's work is never done was something that he espoused very, very often. And you could argue the fact that, well, he was being, speaking particularly of gender, and I don't think it's that way. I think it's more of, people that work are workaholics and they will never be done. And then there are some people that aren't, and they live a different lifestyle, and it's one of those things that I kind of picked up on really, really easily and really quickly. And so, it's one of those things that I hope passes down to my kids to an extent. But I also know he definitely had moments where he would swear people off for perceived things, and we noticed it as a family, and we kind of ignored it. Well, I wouldn't say ignored is a strong word, but we kind of pushed that to the side because we're family. He wouldn't do that to us. And that wasn't the case. We should have been a little bit more understanding of that. And so yeah, it was a rough time. So I'm thinking about making a couple videos in regards to basically how to train your brain to to do those things that you don't necessarily want to do. And but you got to do them. You got to stick it out. You got to do the difficult things that you don't necessarily want to, but you have to, type deal. Sometimes it's because others depend on you. Other times it's because it's what's expected of you. But I'm gonna bring some different aspects into it and whatnot. Part of it is going to be this thought process about family and how that can have an impact on things. So I'm interested in going over a couple different avenues with it, and I don't know, hopefully people will be interested, but we'll see. Today was yeah but we'll see. I really need to actually learn how to make some videos rather than just these live streams. That's where people might watch them, or it turns out nobody's interested, and that's fine. But it's one of those things. I started the whole thought process of lying to myself to get by fairly early in life. I was taught that tests were fun and to not necessarily test based off of the knowledge, but test off of the thought process of who's giving you the test and how they want you to answer. And it's interesting because you get to the point where you can read people very, very well. And I don't want to say that you manipulate them, but you understand what they're looking for in an answer. And then if you give them that answer, 9 times out of 10, you're in a better position. And while it worked really well in school, it works even better in real life. But using that ability to get everything you want is not a good thing per se. But it is a great thing in being able to read people and read a room and read your players on, what might motivate them and what might not. It makes it a lot easier for me as a DM to kind of see where I can go with things and whatnot. So yeah, it's there's a bunch of aspects that I've been thinking about and just are clogged up in the brain meats, and I'm interested to see if people would be interested in it or not. Yeah. Other than that, the other thing that I was thinking about doing was start making mundane modules, and that would be mainly for LARP, but they could be used for D&D and other role-playing games. Just because I think that in LARP specifically, you have a certain subsection of people that just want to be townies. They just want to be, I want to be the farmer or the blacksmith or and no revenants. I know it's going to come, but be the important people around the town that aren't necessarily the adventurers. And we need to be able to open that up. But to a certain extent, then you need to run modules that are very, very mundane and run-of-the-mill. And that makes all of the more out there modules more fantastical. So I was thinking of basically starting a series where I go over these super basic mundane modules. And exactly. But these mundane modules that people can play through and people can basically take and plug into their LARP. And even having them written out and having them accessible to people. Speaking of which, I was supposed to get the NPCs that I made on last Friday's or Wednesday or Friday's stream, I can't remember, up on my Facebook page. I haven't done it. It's been a interesting weekend. D&D game this weekend went really, really well. It was kind of slow and difficult to get 2 new characters introduced, as well as get another character kind of caught up on where things were going. But once we did that, I think the action progressed very well. I think the kind of drama of it was building very nicely. So I think that worked out really, really well. Everybody kind of went back to the dungeon instead of running away from it, which was cool. I was fine either way, but I was kind of frustrated that I built this whole, dungeon and for people to use, and I used the Dirt Cheap Dungeons wall set along with physical props and things like that. And I was kind of upset that we weren't going to use it, but it turns out we're going to end up using it, which is cool. It was kind of neat to have that dynamic, so we'll see. I do like how Brad's new character is a water genasi, given the fact that his character hates anything that speaks Aquan or anything water related and whatnot. So him diametrically opposing that is good. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with how all that went. Yeah. Other than that, that's really about where I'm at. You guys are free spirits. That is true. Overall, it was just frustrating because I know that previously you guys were on the Feywild, and that was very, very much tied to Ezra's character stuff. And I wanted the next set to be very, very in your face and go do this thing. And I guess I came out a little too scary / spoopy, and kind of unnerved everybody. Black puddings as monsters can be scary for smaller groups and if you don't have distance. But the group has like 8 people, and it's one of those things. It's somewhat difficult to plan encounters for them. But overall, I think it works out pretty well. I think I'm doing okay with it now. I'm definitely picking up on it. And we're getting a lot more people down in games now. So that's kind of good for me. I mean, with how many people there are, I'm surprised that we're getting to that point. But no, I'm happy with it overall. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my game. But if anybody has any questions or anything they want to talk about, or any concepts that go along with my kind of thought process of what I was thinking about making videos on, feel free to go ahead and ask. Go ahead and put some comments in the chat, and I will answer them the best I can. Let me make sure I got everything. There's the game stuff. We should be good. And all good. So we're going to be continuing the campaign. How many levels are there? 18. Cool. Cool. So I'm only on 7. Close quarters. Okay, let's see. Still got my barricade. Still got my spiked floor trap. Ice amulet, healing trinket. I don't dance, so no. But then again, you know that. I also, to my knowledge, have never made a deal with the devil or talked with him.
Sorceress,
But you never
I've read
know.
all about Master Cygnus, but I don't remember Vorwick.
Vorwick was the equal of Master Cygnus, and just as heroic in defense of the Order. But all record of his accomplishments was wiped from history.
And you're going to tell us why?
I will, but first you must deal with these orcs.
Hello? Are we not going to talk about how this Vorwick guy is clearly in love with the orcs?
Okay, let's see. We got acid piles here. We do have 2 doors. Okay, there's that. Interesting. I don't think they can jump over that. But I better make sure. Okay. What's past that, though? That's kind of weird. Okay. Okay, so I blocked off that path, so they have to come around here. They have to come around here. This group. Okay. Well, I'm going to block. Not dot block. Well then. I am going to... What? I can put this here. It'll hit bad guys of both locations. That might be an option. I don't know. Nope, 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 nope. I'm going to block off more. I should have got the other upgrade to... I'll have to build that third one there later. Okay. Let's go ahead and start this up.
Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate.
As long as there aren't any kobolds, I should be okay. At least I have health regen on the staff, so that definitely helps. Ow. Kill the ogre. Oh, of course, I missed horribly.
They're almost there.
Okay. Okay. Put a glue trap down. And then some spikes. I'm going to sell that. I have enough for a turret, which I'll put here in that center room. Let's see how this
Enemies are attacking on another front. They've breached another door.
Oh shoot, what the heck is that?
Okay, what is that?
Whoa, I have read about these. Earthlord, I think?
Correct. And when you kill him, he will break apart into smaller, faster units again and again.
enemies at the rift!
Get him.
There are enemies in our rift room!
Bad little earth elemental. Okay. Cool. Cool. Much better. Still don't like the little earth elementals.
More enemies on the way!
Uh-oh. Okay. I don't think the stream is going to be happening much longer, sadly. Baby Bear has seemingly gotten sick again. So I will probably have to end the stream. We will see. I'm going to finish this later. And I'm going to go and see if any help is Dang it! Died again.
Enemies at the rift! They're entering the rift!
These are not super useful. More experience. Okay. I'll just make the spike traps. Actually, I'll make that. Now spike traps. See where they come from this time.
More enemies on the way!
Oh, dang kobolds. No kobold, no kobold.
We're almost there! We only have half our rift.
I'm gonna go and check on Baby Bear and see if everything's okay. I apologize. I might be ending the stream right now just because, you know, I want to be helpful if he is not doing well again. So I will be right back, hopefully. So yeah, folks, just to confirm, Baby Bear definitely just threw up all over the couch and all over Nay and all over everything. So I'm gonna call it a night and go and help her clean up and make sure that he's okay. Yet again, it's probably just too much adult person food, not imposed by us. But yeah, fun times, super fun times. So I apologize. Thanks for coming and hanging out and trying to spend time with me. But the way life goes sometimes. Hopefully I'll be back on Wednesday. Maybe I'll have a set kind of idea of what I want to be discussing for those videos. Maybe I'll have some LARP stuff. Feel free. Message me on Facebook. And if you have any ideas of what we can go over. But I will see you guys later. Have a good night.